What would you do if you were stuck on the other side of the world, completely broke and desperate to go home? Most people would ask for help, maybe call the embassy, or beg their parents for a loan. But Brian Robson, a 19-year-old from Wales, had a different idea. He decided to pack himself into a wooden box and mail himself across the world. This is the true story of the man who tried to ship himself from Australia to the United Kingdom and somehow survived. In the 1960s, Brian signed up for an assisted migration program. It was called the 10-pound palm scheme. The Australian government paid most of your travel expenses. For 10 pounds, a tenth of the price of a cheap jacket, you could go to the other side of the world and be handed a new life. It sounded like a dream. Blue skies, good work, fresh starts. Yet for many young Britons, the experience was far more challenging. Sweltering, dusty conditions, outback towns, back-breaking manual labor, and homesickness that hit like a juggernaut. Brian was one such youth. Aged just 19, he was in a strange country, performing work he hated, thousands of miles from anyone he knew. No money, no support network. He regretted it. He hated the job. He was lonely, and he wanted to go home. The only problem? A plane ticket back to the UK cost more than he made in a year. He needed a plan. So Brian and two friends came up with a plan. They would build a wooden crate, just big enough for him to fit inside. Then they'd mail him across the ocean as air cargo. They packed a suitcase, a flashlight, a bottle of water, a pillow, some snacks, an empty bottle for, well, you know,
Nature calls.
and a small hammer in case he needed to break out. The crate was labeled fragile and this side up, and somehow it worked at first. Brian was loaded onto a plane as planned. Everything was going smoothly. He thought he'd be back in the UK in a day or two. But then, things went sideways. Literally. The box was put upside down and left like that for hours. Brian was trapped. Blood rushed to his head. He couldn't move. He couldn't scream. He was in pain. He started to pass out. To make it worse, there was a routing error. The crate didn't go to London. It went to Los Angeles. Brian was stuck inside that box for over 5 days. Curled up, dehydrated, freezing, delirious. Eventually, a suspicious airport worker noticed something strange about the crate. They opened it, and there he was, a pale, half-conscious teenager, blinking back at them. The Americans thought he might be a spy or some kind of criminal, but once they realized what had actually happened, they were stunned. Brian wasn't arrested. He wasn't fined. In fact, they flew him back to the UK, this time in a real seat with legroom. When the story hit the news, people couldn't believe it. The boy who mailed himself home. It sounded like a joke, but it was all true. Years later, Brian wrote a book about the experience. He called it The Crate Escape. And yes, he even reunited with one of the friends who helped nail the box shut 50 years after the whole thing happened. So what can we take away from this? 1, please don't climb into a shipping crate and mail yourself anywhere. It's a terrible idea. But 2, sometimes the weirdest, most desperate plans make for the most unforgettable stories. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story of questionable life choices and international shipping regulations, feel free to like the video, subscribe for more strange true stories, and maybe leave a comment telling me what you would have packed in your escape crate. See you in the next video, hopefully not from inside a box.